Arganissima, New York. Your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today at www.arganissima.com. Arganissima, New York. Your beauty is our duty.
Folks, welcome back to the iHealth channel, iHealth Radio, with your host, Hurricane H. New day, new show, new topic. A little bit of an angle today. Great guest. All guests are great, but today we're just going to go into a different angle, but something that we usually cover and I really promote, which is, inspiration, motivation, success stories, and all that good stuff within the realm of health, but no healthcare, but in a different twist. So without any further ado, I have with me Naomi, Mamiye. Naomi, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi. All right. So that was a very quick intro, but I know your story is tremendous for our audiences, because I think it is important to start with the actual story behind who you are today and the success that you have achieved. And I do a lot of motivational stuff myself on memes and posts and things like that. I love those things because they keep me going. And every time I come across someone who has, and by the way, I think a lot of us watching or listening, they've had tough times in their lives. Unless we were born, in a very rich environment. And even that, maybe I doubt that you always have a good day. There's always a bad day that can happen. Most of us watching and listening around the world, we probably have had bad times or had different circumstances and it was difficult and we had to survive and make things happen. Your story has almost every single thing of those factors, but yet didn't stop you, made you stronger. And now you are, I would say, the elite in what you do. Mm-hmm. And I'll keep it at that because the rest is on you now. So Naomi, tell us about your journey, how it began, and then what got you in this. And then we can dabble with every single thing about your life and all the different things and achievements that you've been able to do.
Okay. So, it all started, let's say, when I was 10 years old, and this is a health channel, so then I can go into details.
Yeah.
So I was 10 years old, and my mother found on her back, she never noticed it before because it was, not seen. A mole of hers was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time she noticed it, it already traveled under her skin and traveled through her body. So she had melanoma, and she went on so many different trials at that time. We're talking like 30 something years ago. And she passed away 2 years later. Wow. And my father got remarried very fast, and my stepmother did not want me. So I went to live with one set of grandparents, and while there, one of them got sick with cancer. So then I transferred to the other grandparents' house, and there another grandparent got sick with cancer. This is my teenage years. I went back and forth until I kind of was needing a home. So I got married at 19 to, the first thing that came along. It was a very big mistake. I was desperate to have some stability and a home of my own. And I was impatient, and I just wanted, to be in control a little bit of my own life. And he was a nice man, very, very nice guy, but there was no click. And years later, I found myself divorced with 4 little kids. And I was always very creative, and I came from a very creative family. And I designed my house myself, and everybody that came over used to always take pictures of it. And they always told me, you should do this professionally. You should do this professionally. And I was like, no, I'm a mother with kids. I'm never going to work. I'd want to be home. And I never, dreamed of working a day in my life. I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And my situation kind of forced me to change and think of creative ideas, how to support myself. And then it came back to me. Everybody always told me, you should go into design professionally. You should go into design professionally. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me monetize on it. Let me give it a try. Now, I told people that this is what my closest friends, my ex-husband, they're all like laughing at me, like, like you don't have any professional experience in this. And I took all those people that did not believe in me at my start, and I took their words and I turned it around and I said, I am going to prove them all wrong. And I actually, one of my best friends, her name was Ricky, and I tell this story over and over, but it's so true, and it's what motivated me in the beginning. As soon as I made the decision to go into interior design, there was a show in the Javits Center in New York City, a design show. And since I wanted to get into the business, I was grabbing like leaflets from every single vendor. I wanted to, be stocked and be informed and make connections. And I was carrying these heavy, heavy bags, a knapsack and 2 heavy bags. I was being dragged down. And she looked at me, she said, who do you think you're going to design for? So, it bothered me so much that she had no belief in me that I made a big sign in my closet and it said, show Ricky. And every time I got dressed, every time I took a pair of shoes, anytime I opened that closet, there was the big sign, show Ricky, show Ricky. And I was like, I'm going to, prove her wrong. And today I did. I at the start took anything that came my way, residential, commercial, for free. To get my name out there. And slowly I found my niche, and I got some projects in the healthcare field. My first was to design some assisted livings and nursing homes. And I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't have like women making me crazy. And so I said, I kind
no
of
judgment.
Like this. Yeah, thanks. No, yes, judgment.
Well, not from me.
Yeah, right.
I get in trouble.
Yeah. So no, I found it to be a very big issue, and I'll tell you straight out, flat out, honest, that I found many women have a lack of confidence. So I would design a whole house with a woman. Let's say, I give this example. Somebody had a beach house and she wanted everything all blue. So we did a gorgeous house in blues, very watery feel. And then her mother told her, like, no, what did you do? You have to keep everything white. Even though she has little kids, I was like, white? It's never going to stay white. She's and like this, we had to. So much work went into the place. One person makes one comment. She loved everything she picked out, and that's it, done. The whole thing, garbage, had to start over from scratch. And I found that happening over and over. And I was like, you know what you like, what look, what colors pull you, and your sister, makes a face, with her nose, and that's it, and she sees what you picked up, and that's it. And it bothered me so much. So I said, you know what? When I do healthcare, I am in control. I do presentations. They get to pick from 3 different options that I put together, and that's it. And then and I'm done. And I could pound out project after project after project, and I'm doing this for 17 years now, and I probably designed over 90 different healthcare facilities, meaning medical centers, drug rehab centers, doctors' offices, dental office, anything to do with in healthcare. I've done huge hospitals around the United States. So I found my niche, and and now I can even tell you the lessons I've learned from the people that I meet all the time.
So Naomi, we're gonna get there. You gave a lot in there, and so I'd like to just kind of go through some of those elements, because I think for our audiences, we want to take just a step at a time as your journey, because I mean that's kind of like the whole resume, the whole success story in a nutshell. But really, the elements that you had to deal with, and a lot of people today, sometimes they're probably going through some level of what you had gone through, and they may not know how to deal with them, right? And at all stages. I mean, the first thing we're going to talk about is your early days when you lost your mom, then your I guess your grandparent. That's first of all devastating at that age, and just being not happy with your stepmom. I mean, those are things that can really be challenging to people. Now, I have not experienced the same, but I know of similar stories where people have had tough times, right? And just growing up in that environment. It's not everybody wants the ideal family, right? Parents, you're happy, everything's good, but that doesn't always work that way. And sometimes you have these circumstances, and some people actually tend to sometimes go the wrong way when that happens. But that wasn't the case. And from this platform, we hope that people can get motivated by your story and inspired that, no matter what your circumstances, that you can turn, to the right direction. It's a choice. And yeah, it's not going to be easy. And that's the other part, because people think like everything's going to be like happening and it's going to be peachy. Nothing is peachy in life. Life is just going to throw in a lot of nice swings at you, and you just have to dish out and be ready for those. But that's the thing. For our young audiences, if you're going through tough times right now, and whatever circumstances, know that there is the light at the end of the tunnel, as they say, right. And there's going to be opportunities, and a lot of success stories today. When you really dig down and deeper in their life, you're going to find so many things in their back, story, and be like, maybe those are the things that made them who they are today. I mean, you are in front of us today from that same opportunity. Now, that was the first thing. Then you mentioned something about you're 19, you got married young, which, by the way, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you find the right person,
to the right person, yes,
exactly. Sure. So there's nothing wrong. But again, it sounded, and you said it almost, it was for the wrong reasons, because you wanted it and you needed it, and you did it. Only 4 kids later, and that makes it even more difficult, because now the kids are in the middle and things like that, and that's more challenging. You were literally relying on this particular person, and a lot of women do that. And I'm not saying this because of a judgment or anything. There's a lot of wives, a lot of stay-home moms taking care of the kids. By the way, that's a beautiful mission when you want to take care of your children and make sure give them that healthy life and upbringing and things like that. But you need to have the right partner for that, right? And by the way, I think it's even reversed. You have the opposite, that's happening as well. And the challenge is that that's all difficult. And now all of a sudden, life is not happening. And by the way, that example is probably going to relate to a lot of people watching and listening right now. But you made a commitment and a decision, which was probably one of the toughest ones, because I can just only assume, right. But I'm pretty sure, just talking to you, that it was not that easy, because now you have to figure out everything with the kids, and dad, this, right. That, the other. This is when you have kids, a divorce is for life, forever, because you still have to deal with the other part as long as they live. Right. This is going to be, and the kids are in the middle, and there's always going to be some intrigue stuff. And obviously, we're not going to go into that detail, but it was not a picnic. I guarantee it, and I know. But then you tried to do something that was you. You had talent. You're artistic. You figured something that was you, and that's another thing. Sometimes people leap into something that is not them, but you did something that was you. And that's an important message for our folks and listeners, because I'm a big firm believer of this. If you're doing something that is not something you enjoy, life's going to be just bad. You're not going to be enjoying it, and you're not going to be successful at it, because that's the thing. We do things that we're not happy with just because we want to make ends meet, and that's not going to happen in the long run. You're going to get stressed, not happy, and you're going to give up, and the success is not going to be there. But if you find something that you enjoy and you're going to be good at, then yes, it's going to be a harder journey, but it will be pleasant because the journey is going to be fun. And as much as difficult, you will be able to endure because you know that you can do more in this. And you did. Now, my question to you in this, I know you had the artistry. I mean, did you go into any studies specific for this, or that was just your creativity?
No. Okay, wait, hold on. There's so many things that you said now that I have to address. I'm going to get to your question soon. Okay, first, during my teenage years, everybody should know I was not this happy, cheery person. I was crying nonstop. I was all the time, woe is me, life's so not fair, God hates me. I mean, I was just like on the negativity train. Okay.
Thank you for bringing that.
And I made a firm decision that I'm gonna, I thought like, you hear people say positive thoughts bring positive things, and I was like, oh, that's such nonsense. And then at one point I said, you know what? I have nothing to lose. Let me try this trick. Okay. And I switched my brain. I switched my thinking, and I'm looking at all the goodness that I have. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I have 4 beautiful kids. God gave me talent, and I didn't go to school for it. And I could do all these things without staying. I didn't go. There's people that, and also, back to question. Also, I also teach design, and I tell my students, you're wasting your time here. It's not so, I said, either you got the flair or you don't. I cannot teach you creativity. It's something inborn in you. So I'm sorry if you don't have it. You're wasting your time here. I could talk here till tomorrow. It's either yes or no. So you look at some people, they're dressed, they're all put together, and you look at other people, you're like, what are they thinking? So some people just have that certain kind of taste, that certain kind of, design, artistic, creative flair. Mm-hmm. And they know how to match up fabrics, and they know how to match up colors and patterns. And I can't teach it to you girls. I'm like, see if you, I'm like, you're wasting your money here if you don't have that talent. So I made the conscious decision to get on that positive train, and I actually did see. It was like, whoa, like I actually did see, when I was thankful and grateful all that I had, and just focused forward and stuff. I kept in my mind for years and years and years. I kept on rewinding the past. Like I should have said this to my mother. I should have said that to my father. I should have done this for my grandmother. I should have been more helpful, I didn't stop rewinding my whole life story and trying to fix things in my head, when in reality, I couldn't fix it. And in real time, there's no way of me. So I wasted so much energy and so much time and stress on nonsense of things I couldn't correct. And I decided that I'm like going to put on blinders. I'm going to stop thinking completely about the past and just focus forward. That's it. I'm just looking forward. I'm dreaming big. I'm and still today, I consider myself a success still today. When I open up my spice cabinet, when I'm cooking, I still have a big sign in my spice cabinet, motivating me, pushing me forward, that says dream big. Okay. And then I have another cabinet on the other side with all my junk, stuff, and the envelopes and the scissors and all. And I open that up and it says dream bigger. So I'm still pushing myself further and further and further. And I'm only looking now ahead. I spent years wasting time and in negative thought. So I didn't get here. It was not easy getting here. It was really tough, and it was mind blowing, the change that happened in my life because just of my healthy, grateful, thankful positive thoughts.
So Naomi. First of all, that's fine. I say Naomi. I think of Morpheus, Neo. Well, that's one of my favorite movies.
But then I tell people, and and how did I get? And now, like, and how do? And I tell this to my students also. You brushed on this topic. How? First, I tell them, you gotta do what your gut is telling you to do. Meaning there's I know a lot of people that their spouses force them to stay in jobs just for the paycheck when they want to go, they don't want to sit in an office job. They want to be a plumber, electrician, a hairdresser, but because of their steady income, you have a spouse that will push you to stay and not follow your dreams. So a lot of people are guilty of that. And I even say parents are even guilty of that with kids. I said, I had a daughter that when she was younger, she kept saying, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher. And she kept saving her favorite lessons. And I'm going to use this lesson when I'm a teacher. And I'm like, are you crazy? It's so much work and it's so hard. And you come home and you still have work. You got to grade tests. And I said, it never ends and you get paid so little. I was guilty of the same thing that I'm now preaching. And she did become a teacher. And I can't tell you, like, the good feeling of, like I had, like when people came over to me, like, your daughter changed, my daughter's life. She gave her so much confidence. She was such an incredible teacher. She was so inspirational. And I'm like, now, like, I'm blown away. And I feel horrible that, when she was younger, I was telling her, no, don't do it. Because I was just worried about the money. But it's not the money. She's so happy with what she's doing. Money is nothing. She followed her dream. And then you also touched on this other thing before that, how not to get down. Let's say when you don't get the job or project that you're trying out for, like you get a door slammed in your face, you keep going for interviews and it doesn't work. So when I first started, again, I was young. I was 17 years ago. Every time I didn't get a project, I used to cry. And now when I don't get a job, I'm like, look at it like either like, maybe the other person is a better fit. Maybe the other person needs the money right now. Then maybe God saved me from a horrible contractor. And sometimes I find out after from other designers that are my friends that the guy was so nasty. And I was like, whoa. And I was, wow, I'm so thankful I didn't get the job. I'm being saved and I'm crying. And meanwhile, I'm being saved from a horror job. So the thing is, you have to believe. That's my key word all the time. You have to believe what's meant for you will come to you. What's, so if you keep getting, a no, it's for a reason. It's not the right fit. The right door will say yes. The right fit will click and will happen. You just have to not give up. 2, believe that the right thing is on its way. That's it. There's a match for everything, for everybody. The right click will happen, but you just got to be, again, on that positive mindset that it's going to happen. It's just, it's just not yet or not. It's just not the right time. So
you speak my language. I'm just enjoying this. Go for it. Keep going.
So I tell them, just don't get knocked down. You get knocked down, pull yourself right back up. Just keep on going. It's going to work out. And I tell the story many times. This Steve Jobs gives this commencement address speech in front of college students, and he says that he tells a story. He got fired from Apple, his own baby. He got fired from his own company. Okay, and then while he was fired, I mean, he was like shocked that that he built the whole thing and now it was taken away from him. He was shocked. He was down, depressed. He was angry. Then he decided to dabble into something different, and he started DreamWorks. He started DreamWorks, and he says right now, and years later, he got hired back to Apple. If he didn't get fired, DreamWorks, the movie, the animation studio, would never have happened. So he had to get fired for himself for him to open DreamWorks, and then he got rehired. You got to believe that everything happens for a reason. You get fired for a reason. You get hired for a reason. You you have to keep on believing that. I mean, I don't know why my mother died and my grandparents died and my stepmother didn't want me, but I would have been a totally different person if they were alive today. I would have been a pampered princess. I would have been a spoiled brat, pampered princess. Okay. If I didn't go through all this hardship, all this strengthened me and made me who I am today. There's no way I would have been the same person if I didn't go through all those deaths and all those hospitalizations and all those cancers and all those. Your struggles are kind of like you don't realize it while you're going through them, but you have to believe that there's a reason this is happening, and you actually you evolve, you change, you learn things, you pick up on new things, and you become a new person from the experience, and it just makes you a stronger, better, more understanding person. So just keep on believing.
Well, first of all, I want to do a little experiment with everybody watching right now, listening. Take a minute, guys. If you're watching or listening right now, take just a minute. Literally, you don't need more, and reflect on your life to date, and then look at every single thing that happened to you to date, good, bad, ugly, otherwise, positive, whatever. And jobs that you've taken, routes, who was the reason, and so on and so forth. And you're going to find a connection that you don't realize until you actually reflect on it. And you'll be like, damn, if this didn't happen, the other one would not happen. And it happened for a reason, because if I wasn't here. And what you said is actually a reality of our lives, because we don't realize it, because we're not looking in the future, right? But we don't know what circumstances are being put in place for us and how they're going to drive us to wherever we are supposed to be at or meant to do. And only at that point, you'd be like, oh my goodness, had this not happened or the other didn't happen. As you said, clearly, those events that happened in your life were the driver behind who you are today. You would have completely taken a different route, maybe. And that's exactly what happens to many of us. But I guarantee everybody who's watching right now and listening, if you took just a minute to think about it and reflect, that's the other thing. We don't go and reflect about connecting the dots. When you look at that and know that whatever happens today, it has a meaning. There is nothing that is ad hoc. There's nothing that is just coincidence. There's no coincidences. Everything, to your point, happens for a reason. And it is going to happen exactly the way it's supposed to. And doesn't matter what you do. There is an actual path for each and every one of us. And we will navigate somehow, somewhere, and going to wind up exactly where we are meant to be. And everybody is meant to do things and whatever is really good for them. Now, sometimes we choose the wrong path because we, challenge the current, to your point, the gut feeling. Follow somebody else's, dream, not yours. Those are things, that actually drive us behind, and then keeps us kind of demotivated, stressed, and not happy. Those are the things that actually affect us. Now I want to go back to that moment that you mentioned something about the teenage years and how you were like stressed out and thinking about all the bad things first that were happening. And then you had that eureka moment. Boom. Wow. I'm thinking about everything I have today, what's good in my life versus what's bad. And the minute you started, achieving that mindset shift, right? Going from negative to positive. And I think that's actually the biggest component that we all sometimes suffer from, is that we have the inability to actually move from one to the other. Yet it is not difficult. We have good things in our lives. The fact that you breathe, the fact that you're healthy, the fact that you have nothing, in your body that is going to hurt you, the fact that you're in a safe country, for example. Some people may disagree with me here, but we're not going to go into that discussion. But the fact is, there's so many things that we have that we take for granted. If you start looking at those things as opposed to things that you don't have, or sometimes you look at everybody else that has more money and stuff like that and expect, why they do what? Forget what they do. They did their thing. They made it, whatever the case may be. Let me be me and do me. Maybe I'll look at them, as something that's great, and maybe I want to do more just to be like that, but that's different. But instead of focusing on the others, let's focus on me. You said it, keyword, believe. You believe in yourself. I love what you said about having those little stickers or posters in front of you. I mean, Ricky's was the fun one. Yeah, this is for you, Ricky. And I want to highlight that specifically. We all have had people that, and most of our surrounding people, like our entourage, would not believe in us. Unfortunately, that's a fact. Everybody that's out there is successful, at least in any capacity. There are people that they had in their lives that would probably just like, oh, wait, what makes you think that you're going to be good? What makes you going to, think that you're going to succeed? Who do you think you are? Many people try. They'll give you every single reason why you can do and cannot achieve versus like, well, that sounds great, dude. Do that. You make it happen. You got this. We support you. Very few will support you. The majority will probably just look at you down. They will disbelieve in you. And then not only that, they'll even make you doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Period and out. You said it. You're looking at your stuff. You got to start believing. And once you believe, you will achieve. My co-host, John, he has a hat. It says believe and achieve. That's his motto. Oh. But he literally, and it is a fact.
One.
I'm going to tell him. So, but the fact is that's a simple, definition of success. If you believe, that's the first step. Then you can achieve, but now you got to take action. Of course, there's no believe without action, and then expect things to happen. Obviously, we have to do what it takes. You did. You went. You carried back, the bags and stuff, and collected and went and did work for free. Whatever the case, whatever it took to make it, and you were never discouraged. You never gave up, and you continued despite of all the challenges you had. I mean, I'm sure you had many, and obviously, we're not going to enumerate everything that you had to go through to get there. But I'm sure it wasn't easy. And just knowing that you had kids, you had this, you had that. I mean, you have to survive. You have to make ends meet and just bills and stuff. We live in New York. I mean, it costs money. It's a lot more expensive than other places, right? And so it's not easy, but you did it. And also you went into the world of, again, we talked about the education piece. That was not something you went to school for, but that was your thing. But now imagine you go into these places and people are going to look at you compared to other people that probably have credentials that are like super like, oh, they come from this school. And you had to prove yourself against all those folks. That's actually really super believe. And that's the other thing. You have a dream, you go for it. Dream big, go crazy, and go follow your dream. Make it happen. We always, to your point, I love what you said about we think about, we stay in a job because the paycheck. I mean, that's the pill we've always been given, a paycheck to paycheck because you got to pay the bills, but we were not willing to sacrifice some moment. Most of these successful people will sacrifice a year of their life, maybe two. Very hardship, and they're building their empires. And then when they hit it, boom, they have everything. I mean, I think I have a quote that I stated a while ago. They're what most can't, enjoy what most won't, or something of that nature. So the fact is, if you dare, to do something that most of the people were not there, you're probably going to enjoy life a lot better than them eventually. And so because you're going to get all the things that you want, but it will take sacrifice. It will take a moment. It's going to take some time to get there, but you did it. And then I love the affirmations. It's a reminder every day, like dream big, dream bigger.
Right. Because like you said before, life is full of curveballs. So you have to keep pumping yourself up. It's not like I don't get knocked down. I put myself reminders to, hey, get back on track, get back on track. I mean, there's so many unexpected things that are constantly happening, so the thing is, don't get down. You fall down, you pull yourself right back up. So, and if you need those reminders, then do the same. Copy me, go ahead.
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of folks like that. First of all, the energy that you have right now, I'm just like, I'm getting sweaty here. Just listening to you. And I'm like, I want to get like really just jumpy because I do feel you. I do actually see that energy. I thrive with that energy and I believe in it. I mean, if you look at my social media, it's all about that. But the first client, I always say I'm the first client. I do that not because not only I want to help people and guide them and give them the same motivation, but it keeps me motivated to do what I want. I'm doing something I love and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I actually, had a challenge just because of what I do, because a conflict, whatever the case may be. But I chose this because this is something I want and I know where this is going and I know my vision, where it's going to be. And I know what my dream is going to get there. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes, legally to get there. Just making sure it was like whatever it takes. Yeah, the legal way. But the fact is, that's the thing. There's nothing that's going to stop. When you have a true belief and you really want to get somewhere, you're going to get there. And yes, you're going to fall. Babies fall all the time. They stand up, they shake it, and they move on, and that's it. We're grown-ups, right? We can do it. We can get this done. So the fact of the matter is we have control, but we have to set up the rules. And the rules are what you said. You have to believe. You have to set your dream. You have to do whatever it takes. You got to believe that, it's not going to be easy as well. You have to keep positive. You cannot think negative. Oh my God. Well, we can think about everything that can go wrong, or we can think about the things that can go right. That's a choice. Again, it's really just, you want to look, again, we say the cup half full, half empty. That's just a very common thing. It's your choice how you look at it, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about think out of the box. There's no damn box. There's no limits, an infinite, selection that you have. So the idea is that we have the controls. We can do this. And again, you are a success story. You have made it. And the challenge, and by the way, that's the other thing that you did different. You could have done all kind of designs. I mean, you had the creativity, but you went to a lot of different things. You said something where you had multiple experiences. Things didn't go your way. It was challenging. And you try to get a job done, and then somebody, because of a taste of somebody else, because they were not really committed to their own decision, somebody else kind of make the decision for them or turn the decision, upside down. And then you had to like reset. And those are sometimes overwhelming, because those are the parts.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it's not good at all. But you dealt with it. That's the good news.
I dealt with it by making a U-turn with saying, you know what, I'm gonna stick to something that's more for me. You got to have a lot of patience for that, to be able to do things over and over and over. And certain designers can. They don't mind, going to the tile store 20 times, but I just wanted to see a project finished. It was like they were never ending. So I went into the, and also the fact that I'm through my youth, I've been to so many hospitals, and now I'm actually designing them. I learned my lesson, and this is what I like to give over, that so many times when I'm designing like a assisted living or a nursing home, or I see a sick person in a hospital bed, they don't look, most of them do not look like they accomplished what they wanted to in life. They look miserable. And I tell the story like many times. Like, some people ask me, like, they tap my shoulder and they're like, "Oh, are you with the construction crew?" Like, "Oh, I always wanted to go into construction," And I was like, so why didn't you? Like, I don't know, same thing. I have a lady tap me on the shoulder so many times. "Oh, I love your hair. I wanted to be a hairdresser," or whatever. "I wanted to open my own salon." So why didn't you? Like, this happens like over and over again. Like, so many people, they're full of regrets, and they're sitting there in the nursing home miserable, like, not, like, you want your end of your days to be serene. I completed what I wanted to, my mission, my goals, my bucket list. I'm good. I'm happy. And so many people are, they're empty. They're sad. They're depressed. I mean, it breaks my heart when I see all these people like this, and only because they didn't have the guts enough to follow their dreams, or to make that change, or to leave that office job. It's just, you got to take that leap of faith. And so many people are too chicken they're too scared, and they're just stuck in that little, like, that wheel, like the mouse in the wheel. And they just can't break out. And you need a little bit of courage. And that's what I'm telling everybody. Please, push yourself. If it bothers you every day to go to work, if you're not happy, going to work every day, then something's wrong, and you gotta, make that change. Gather the courage and take that leap of faith, and try something different. Follow that dream, downsize a little bit, and start, start from scratch that dream that you always wanted, that you always had in your head when you were younger. It's never too late. You hear all these things. Yeah. Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Walmart, all these people started so late, their businesses so late in their lives. But let me tell you, they died happy. They died happy. They finally got the courage at 50 to do something, 50, 55, 60,
It's never too late.
No, it's never too late. They finally found the courage, and believe me, they were gone smiling. Okay. So that's my message.
So now, I love what you said. And I want to just take a little moment just to reinforce some of the stuff you said. One is the idea of, you had challenges and you were willing to kind of reset things. So you went to designing regular homes. Then then that didn't work out for you, but you had to find something different within the same realm. That's the other thing that people don't sometimes think about. You're into whatever you're doing. You got to see, like, if there's different angles within the same industry, whatever you do, your expertise, if one doesn't work for you, real estate, you can do commercial, you can do residential, you can do, different things. And same thing here, design. You can do residential, you can do commercial. You went to a different type of commercial, healthcare. People need hospitals, people need clinics. And I love what you said. I mean, and I'm sure you do this because today's designs in a lot of these clinics, and I'm in the healthcare, you can see that they've changed from how they looked before. You knew when you went to the hospital room, it looked like a very hospital room. Now, some of these hospital rooms, they make it cozy for people. Yeah. They feel different. And that, I'm sure that's because the designers are considering these things, because I want my parents to actually feel good in that room. I want them to feel cozy, have a little bit of homey, environment. Exactly. Nursing homes specifically. You don't want them to feel like they're in a jail room. You want them to feel like, they're in their bedroom, happy and stuff. And that's actually, beautiful, the fact that designers and so you found a niche that is different, that is awesome, and you're doing it, and you were able to deliver. I love what you said also about that. You realize that even when things don't happen, you don't get a contract, that maybe there's a reason why you didn't get the contract. See, that's the thing. You try to justify the why it didn't happen to make sure that you can clarify that for yourself. I mean, instead of giving the doubt and keeping the question mark, you find 10 reasons why it didn't work out for your own interest.
Yeah, but sometimes you just have to have the patience, because sometimes you get frustrated, you get upset that you didn't get the project, the job, the interview didn't go well. You get frustrated, and you don't have the little bit of patience, that just hold on a little bit, because it's going to come. It's going, it's people just like throw in the towel. And
I call it the 1 degree. 1 degree. Mm-hmm. 1 degree is the boiling, level, right? The 1 degree changes the water from regular to boiling water. And if you have boiling, as you can have steam, and therefore you can get engine, you can propulsion. So the fact is that last breath, that last second, that last, draw, most people will give up just about before, but you don't know when that is. That's the problem. And you keep going, you will hit. You just have to keep going. There's this picture in my mind that I see on social media all the time. This guy like digging, into a mine. I don't know if you've seen that one.
With the gold, he's right above the gold.
And then one is walking away because they gave up too soon. And it's real. It's live. You don't know when that next move is, but you just got to keep moving. Left, right, upside, up, down, whatever. Figure out, step back, move sideways. I also give the example of the Seine River in France. It's actually like a serpent that keeps going back and forth. When you think about it, why rivers do that? I mean, obviously there's mountains, they can't figure out, they come back, but they still figure a way to go back to the sea. And this is natural stuff. We have the ability to do that. Most people think that just because I'm going for that goal doesn't mean I have to change. You can go left, take the longer route. It doesn't matter. I mean, you're in Brooklyn. We can do the Belt Parkway and go around. So you have different routes. You don't have one set way, but don't give up. And don't give up too soon. And there's a point where you do realize this is a dead end. Again, it's just a dead end. Multiple doors open. One closes, 10 open. It's how you think, what you set up for yourself is going to change your dynamics. And then you said something very powerful, where you are experiencing firsthand how people are regretful about their lives. And unfortunately, a lot of us, first of all, nobody guarantees how long we're going to live. Okay. I mean, we're talking today. We don't know. I had a great friend who was, a guest that we had. And then I lost him, right? So he was gone. And you never know when someone that is close to you is gonna go at any given age. You never know that, right? And so we don't have a guarantee, but we do know that as long as we live, we're gonna live and have to enjoy our lives. Do good, do right, but also do the things that you want and not the things that people dictate for you or want you to do. Because to your point, there is going to be a point where you can't do things. Doesn't matter. Your body physically, you're not going to be able to do it. You might want to climb a mountain. There's a point where your heart's not going to do it. Your limbs are not going to take you up there. You can't do it. Your lungs are going to be weak. You can, do things. Just a very steep example, but it doesn't matter. You want to do a trip around the world. Maybe you're not going to be able to afford it. You have money today. You have health. A lot of things you can do now that you're not going to be able to do later. Many people, they want to retire first and then have all this bucket list business that they want to achieve. And then your health leaves you alone. I mean, your health leaves and you're not able to move around. You can't go anywhere. Now you're stuck somewhere. And then to your point, be like, oh, I wish I did. I wish I did. Well, too late. Right now, I did say it's never too late, but there is a point where your body may not be able to do things. Now, I've seen people at all ages still doing, extraordinary stuff. I mean, I have a dear friend, actually. She was a guest. She's a senior athlete, and she is running and doing crazy stuff. So Madonna, from this platform, keep up the great work, girl. But that's the thing. Like, I see people that have the dreams and they have the courage and they have the passion and they follow whatever their mind, is setting up for them, and they're happy, despite, and I'm sure everybody's life is not peachy, but at the end of the day, when you do the things that actually are good for you, you will probably have a level of happiness. And happiness is not about money. You don't even have to have money to be happy. You just have to be doing the things you love and with the people that you feel good about. If you have those things, and if you're healthy, that's the best. I mean, we say health is wealth. That's the biggest, part of it. A lot of us, we are worried about funding, get money. Before you know it, you have plenty of money, but you can't do anything about it. Money is not going to get you things. It might get you some tools. I mean, it is a tool. If you know how to use it, you can enjoy life with it. But there is also a time, there's a time clock running for all of us. And that's the problem. But you said it best, is the fact that you have seen it firsthand, where people come to you and say, I wanted to do this. Why didn't you? And for people watching right now, if you are thinking of anything, I have another great, friend and also a guest that I've had a couple of times. He lives the life, literally, and I admire him. He lives his life. He gave up a lot of things. He's been, floating around the world on a sailboat. And, recently he's also an author. He's doing what he loves. He writes, he's on podcasts, he's doing stuff. He's traveling the world. He's living life and he's enjoying every moment of it. And he's inspiring other people. Many people can't do that. And we do need to seek these elements, these examples for us. And sometimes hearing this can spark, something in ourselves. And everyone listening and watching right now has something within them that's dormant. Listening to something like this may ignite some of that passion, some of that, oh my God, this is my moment. I want to do this. That's it. And by the way, folks, it's not going to be easy. And again, you have to be prepared that it's going to come with some sacrifice, but the actual fruits of this sacrifice are going to come, and you're going to be enjoying your life eventually. But you have to be patient. And you have to be willing. And that's all there is. But to your point, don't be at a point of your life where you're like, I wish I'd done this. I could have done that. I didn't. And I can say it now myself. I mean, there are things that I wanted to do that I didn't do. And I'm catching up in a lot of things, and I've been around the world. I've done a lot of things, but there's more places I want to go to. There's more places I want to see. There's more things I want to do, and I'm trying to work as fast as possible to get there, but I don't want to wait to the end and just expect it. Because again, I don't guarantee the end. I mean, maybe I'll live long, maybe I don't. But at the end of the day, I want to live a fulfilling life, happy, enjoy everything I do. And at the end of the day, if I go, well, it's time to go, like to your point. I'm going to go happy. And that's the other thing that you mentioned is you can start anytime. Yes, while the time is ticking, today is a good day to begin.
Right.
If
you shouldn't think it's too late. You should never think it's too late. Because you've ever seen, there's like a lot of angry old people. Angry. They're full of and why are they angry? Why are they they're mad at themselves. They're mad at themselves. So like we were just saying before, a lot of these success stories happened in the later stage of life, where they finally, got the encouragement from a good person, or finally, you know,
Develop the courage.
yes, on their own. So it's never too late. Don't say like, oh yeah, that's for the younger kids. I should have done that when I was younger. It's too late now.
Well, for our younger folks, it's time to start. For older folks, guess what? You can start any minute, any day. Today is a good day. Why not? Let's plan for tomorrow and make tomorrow the best. And if today is still not over, you know what? We still have a good night to make things happen and have fun. And that's a good way to do it. Whether it's religion, whether it's financial, whether travel, it doesn't matter. You want something, make it happen. Just have it. I mean, get it out of your system. And I had a guest who actually he has a book. It's called The Bucket List Guy. I mean, he is the bucket list guy. And it's all about doing the things you want today, not waiting until you actually at that age when you will retire and then you figure out. Do your life. Today is a good day. Don't wait. And these are all good examples. And by the way, Naomi, I have a question for you. Now, I know you do your design. You're already out there doing your thing, and plenty of business out there. And I know healthcare is just going to keep going, and you're always going to need people like you and I think the new version of all the healthcare system now requires very creative designers. But you do these podcasts and you come on with your energy. I mean, there's got to be a motivator behind this. And I think I know what it is, but you are really making a difference in people's lives by exposing them to your story and also to your energy. I mean, I can just see you you want to come out of the screen right and be like, people, get it done today. So why do you do that?
The reason why is because I see so many miserable people at the end of their lives, and I say, you know what? I got to catch these people, while they still are, like you said, while they're still mobile, while they still could, their lungs and their legs and everything still works. You can't keep, like you said, you can't say, oh, when I retire, I'll do this. When I retire, I'll do. You don't know if you'll even make it to retirement. People drop dead in a car accident, or you don't know if that retirement will ever even come. So I try to give over this message only because what I see on a nonstop basis of people unfulfilled. So my message, I mean, I could be spending this hour right now pounding out projects. I'm taking away time from people waiting for their projects to get done. And I, every once in a while I say, to myself, I say, you know what, let me speak to the people. I take away that hour from work and I say, let me do this. Let me try to get this message out to a different group of people. Mm-hmm. There's different audiences for different podcasts, different shows, different people listening, different demographics. Whoever has not heard me yet, I'm sure plenty of people over here have not even heard my name. But let them hear what I have learned over 17 years in just focusing on healthcare. Just what I've learned out of my job.
Well, listen, you're doing terrific, and a lot of people are going to listen to this, and you probably. I know for a fact that there are people today or any day when this show is going to be out there once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. So people will catch on to it eventually. But whoever is going to listen to it, I know that there's going to be a percentage of people that will take whatever you're saying today and apply it because it is contagious. It is positive. It will literally motivate people to change. And you know what? There's no reason why not. You're not giving anybody anything wrong. What you're saying to people right now is that you can do it. You will have the ability to do it. You will be able to succeed. And you know what? No matter what the circumstances, because you've gone through some tough circumstances, yet you still, made it and you're still happy. And what I admire about what you're doing is that you didn't save this for yourself. See, you're sharing this with the world. And that's the other thing. Many people don't do that. They just,
not only that, I have a program where I mentor young designers, and I actually, it's like I give like a sort of like a crash training course free of charge. young aspiring designers that, again, that don't have the courage to go out on their own. And I take again, like, just like this podcast, I take time out of my day to sit there with people that are not sure they should do it, they shouldn't do it, they should go work for somebody else first, they should go out on their own. I and I have my colleagues, other designers, they're like, why are you training these young designers? They could be competing for the same jobs as you. Okay. And I was like, and that goes back to the same belief thing, that nobody could take away a project that's meant for me. Me helping someone else get on their feet and make money and encouraging them to go into design is not going to take a thing away from me. Not a thing. It's the same word you got to remember: belief. What's meant for you will come to you. Helping these girls, they're not taking a project away from me. All the projects that are meant to go to them will end up by them.
There's plenty for everyone.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I do this out of the goodness of my heart. I give them all starter kits, samples, contacts, who to call, who to use for this, who to use for that. And people are like astonished, like, why are you doing this? It's part of giving back. Whatever. My theory is also, like, whatever you put out in the world comes back to you. So if I'm putting goodness back in the world, positive goodness, I'm helping people, positive things, and goodness is going to come right back onto me. So, and that's the way of the world. I have learned it, and I feel it's a fact.
You dish good, you get good back. That's it. And by the way, I love what you said. The fact is, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. It doesn't matter who, it will be yours. And you know what? You have the right attitude about it. The fact is that you have knowledge. It's meant to be shared, and you're not afraid because you are confident in your work. You're confident in your expertise. You're confident you're not going to be running out of business. And yes, you're going to help the next generation, because eventually you want to retire. You want to be doing your own thing, and somebody else is going to take over. Maybe some of those will become your next, level of folks that will come on and take on projects, and you just sit back and relax. See, people don't see it that way. That's the thing. That some people are just narrow-minded. They see here. They don't see the big picture. If you're a big picture person, you're going to see that. Most people, unfortunately, don't. And so that in itself, and thank you for sharing that, because for our audiences, people sometimes don't know. They want resources. And, it's funny. There's a lot of resources. People are willing to give free information out there. Many people, but unfortunately, people are not finding, or at least today it's more available. I mean, through Google and YouTube and podcasts, there's more available today, but not enough. I mean, it's a huge world and there's a lot of people. But to find the right folks that are out there willing to give and do stuff with the right attitude versus the attitude like, well, why would I share somebody else who's going to compete against me in a couple of years? I'm not even worried about those. If I thought about those people, I mean, I'm doing this work that I do. Yeah, there's plenty of competition. Right. I don't care.
I say even I go even further. I say there is no such thing as competition. There's enough for everybody out there. Oh, yes. There is no such thing. I'm competing. No. There's enough for us all.
Listen, your flavor, my flavor are different from anybody else. I don't want to be like the other one. I want to have my own signature. You have your own signature. And that's the thing. Everybody, we can have 10 podcasters right now doing the same show. Everyone's going to have their own flavor. We're not competing. We are all doing the same work, helping people and guiding people and giving information. And we love what we do. And that's the part that is important. You're doing this. And by the way, this goes to that same question about the education part. You actually giving people, your students, like, what the hell are you doing this? Is this even for you? And I love that, because you could just take the money and say, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But you're not. You're actually clear about things. You want people to do this for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons, because they're going to regret it. Again, talk about regret. They're going to do it. Many people go through a whole school system and then they restart their life again twice, 3 times, because they never know what they want. If it's not for you, if this is not you, you got to test it out. This is either you or not. If it's not you, maybe
you go on to the next till you find the right fit.
Don't waste time.
It'll come You know, sometimes you have to, because, you know, if you keep on, the saying is you keep on doing the same thing, you get the same result. So like
Insanity.
exactly the point that you said before. So you try, you veer a little bit to the left, you veer a little bit to the right, you change, you know, you're not so stubborn on the same exact thing, and that will give you the same exact result. You modify, you know, what you're looking for. Hey, maybe I should switch this, change that, you know, and something will eventually open for you.
It always does. And
Yeah.
again, the only time it will not do if you don't do anything. As long as you're in it, doing it, you're going to win it. You're going to be doing things. And again, it's not linear. You know, you got to think 4D, not 3D, 4D. I mean, if it's maybe 8D, I don't care. You know, get quantum physics in there. But yeah, get creative. Know that it's not a particular, you know, format that you have to take, but just be in it. Do things for your own good and live your life. You know, it's amazing that, you know, these are things that are facts that we know of, but sometimes we almost kind of like put them back and lock them out and just throw the key away because we don't want to think about them. Because again, it's risky business. Sometimes people are just, they're comfortable. I want to just
if you have confidence, you don't have a problem with sharing with people or helping other people in the same exact field. You see somebody like a little struggling, you know, you give them you give them a little bit of advice, you give them a little bit of guidance, and because you're confident in yourself, you know, that's I've told this story on previous podcasts, but it still drives me nuts how people are so stingy with their sharing. I tell a story how there's a girl from high school. I hope one day we'll find one of these podcasts.
We'll send it to her.
Yeah. She was famous in town for making the best banana bread. She makes the best banana bread, and like, you know, she just in her house for her guests, for her family, everybody knows, like, wow, when people ask her for the recipe, she won't give it out. But why wouldn't you're not making a business out of it? Why wouldn't you share it with people? Why is it going to take away from your banana bread to share it with other people? No. And I say the same thing. One of my daughter's friends, she started taking piano lessons, and my daughter's like, oh, I also want to take piano lessons. So I called her up, this mom, and she did not want to give me the piano teacher's number. I said, by sharing the piano teacher's number, is that going to make your daughter, is that going to take away from your daughter? Is she going to be playing piano any less if you share with me, if my daughter also takes piano?
The piano is going to be taught to other people anyways.
It amazes me how people are they're so scared of sharing and giving, and they don't realize that when they're going to be put in, what goes around comes around. So they're going to be put into the same situation. This happens all the time. Karma. Because the world is a circle. They're going to be put in a situation where they're going to need somebody's help and sharing, and the exact same thing is going to happen to them in a different situation.
So there's two schools of thought. That there's either you're one of the formulas, right? There's the other formula. There are people that may not have had help, and therefore they grew up with the concept, I'm not going to help anyone. And there are people that may not have had help and had to figure out themselves, and they're willing to help so other people do not suffer the same way they do. And that's just two ways of looking at things. Again, full, empty concept, positive, negative. You know, to your point, the piano lesson is going to be, that teacher is going to teach thousands of other students. Why not yours? And to your point, her piano, you know, skills are not going to be taken away from the other person's piano skills. And that goes for industry wise. You know, you teach, again, I'm in the sales world and healthcare and insurance. And as a leader, I believe in one thing. You're a leader, you make leaders. You know, I'm not afraid of them becoming leaders and taking my spot. Actually, good luck to them. Please do. You know, eventually I'm going to retire. Somebody's going to take over. It doesn't matter. Or they could be in my competitive, you know, space. It's okay. Like they work for another plan. We're friends. We can hang out together. I don't have a problem with that. Again, talking about confidence, that's the key. But some people, it's just how they are. It's the nature of the beast, right? But to your point, karma, what goes around comes around. You know, if you dish rent negative, you're going to find it. Justice will prevail in this world. Doesn't matter how, when, as long as you live, it's going to happen. Before you depart, it's going to happen. So just know that. People may take this as bull, listening to this, like, come on, boy.
Oh, no. What goes around comes around, in the goodness, in the
And
negativity, and the bad.
yeah. Again, whatever you
Absolutely.
give, you're gonna
Whatever
get.
you put out in the world will it's full circle
Hold on.
come back to you.
You plant good seeds, you get good fruits. You plant bad seeds, you're gonna get poison. So it's up to you. Whatever you raise a nice little, I don't know, a dog, or a pet that is actually gonna protect you. Or you can raise, a snake that's gonna bite you. I don't know. We can think about all the different analogies here, but the fact is, it's really simple. Giving in the world, and that's the other. There's givers and takers, and unfortunately, there's less givers, I guess, than takers, and not everybody has that feeling of like, I have this, let me share with more, and I'm not worried. And as long as you are good that way, you will find good. Doors will open. Like, what the hell just happened? I didn't worry about this, and now I got 2 deals on my table. You don't even know where they come from. Literally, I'm sure it happens. You're just like, we need you. Oh, okay, cool, I'm in. And someone who's actually so tight, they're knocking on doors, nobody opens the door, because also there's a reputation, there's all things, and those folks, they will eventually do the wrong thing anyways with their clients or whatever the case may be, and it's just going to bite them in the back. So again, you're good, you find good, simple. That's it. So one question, I know you went to the healthcare, so what can you tell us? I know we're coming to the end of the show, but what can you tell us about the healthcare design world? I mean, just to give our folks a little bit of.
So you even said it for me. Things are really changing with design. They kind of are shifting gears where they want to make it less hospital, less nursing home. Like they want the nursing homes, assisted livings. They want it more of a homey, warm feel. Even the hospital rooms now, they're trying to even make it look like hotels.
Yes,
they're doing like these window cornices and things that you would see like in hotels. They're offering, they're offering now like pull out, couches where you can have your spouse or your parent or your child, like somebody stay in the room overnight with you. That never used to be a pull-out couch in a hospital room. Does somebody, your spouse staying there overnight? No, they used to just send you home. Goodbye. Come back visiting hours.
Yep.
Come back visiting hours. You can't stay here overnight. They're accommodating. They're making like now now they're making like these plush guest chairs. Comfortable. Everything is just. It's turning the feel of more, like first in nursing homes, especially because people, the ones that look very like hospital, the old school ones that still haven't remodeled. Hi, I'm here for you. The kids feel very guilty dropping off their parents. If the place looks like a hotel, they feel less guilty that leaving them there. They feel like they're dropping off their parents in this beautiful place.
You can have a better, attendance. Somebody's going to take care of them.
If they're walking into an old-fashioned place where the fabrics, everything it smells like old. There's like everything is outdated and it has a sterile, cold feel. They're not leaving their parents there. So it's things are really changing. There's a lot of warmth, coming into the rooms, a lot of luxury coming.
The colors too. I think that there's colors, there's sounds.
It used to be very bleak.
Yeah.
It used to be very bleak. Everything used to be just beige. Everything.
All hospitals look the same eventually.
Was beige. So now they're throwing in a little some flavor. They're throwing in greens, they're throwing in teals. They want to give this holistic healing kind of vibe that you're staying in our hospital and you're going to be healed here. So they're trying, like now they're putting up like, these walls of plants or these murals of, trees, and things are changing. They're going back to nature, I would say. going back to nature to give a good feeling with, with nature, healing kind of vibe. So things are really turning direction. As the new places are unrecognizable. So
no, I've seen some awesome facilities, especially like people in assisted living and nursing homes, but even hospitals. I mean, it depends on which floor they are. I mean, pediatrics clinics now, they look more like kids, friendly.
Kids, yes. I just finished a children's hospital. I mean, the distractions over there for the kids. It's so much fun. There's so much color. There's different windows, different things for the kids to touch and play and feel. And they're to get their mind off of, like you have these kids, just needles that get so stressed just seeing, and there's so many distractions and color, and it's just so happy. The feel is so different than what it used to be.
Well, I'm glad because with your energy and how you look at things, I think you're making miracles happen there, and you change your lives. I mean, literally, because to your point, I mean, when you go into one of those rooms and it's more appealing, it's not like, one of those old hospital clinics where it looks like literally like a psychiatric, ward,
yeah,
with like, it's just like, oh my God, or a jail cell.
Many of these other places still have cinder block walls. They still have this. So it kind of feels like you're in a jail cell. They painted over
like what is that?
walls.
Gotham's what is that name? Forgot the name of it in Batman series.
Batman, yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but you're right. I mean, it's just a change of feel, and it changes also the way people are perceiving getting their care, and I think also mentally they're more
how they react.
Exactly,
Yeah.
their reaction is going to be a different outcome for their own health, and it changes dynamics. So again, you are contributing in an indirect way, but really it's impacting in big ways. So but thank you for sharing that, because I had to ask about that. And
it's a new world, and it's fun. To me it's not, people like healthcare design, that must be so boring. No, besides the fun pediatric centers, just giving that whole Zen, feeling of healing, and the other place, there's so much to do, and it's so alive. It's such a good feeling,
I give you, I work in the Medicare space, right? And we work with clinics that cater to seniors, and a lot of these facilities now, they are literally making them with community rooms, with play areas, and where people come in to see a doctor and stuff, but they also have community activities. They can come in, hang out. There's the cafeterias there for them. They change in the dynamics of what that looks like, so people can feel like, okay, I want to go there. I'm going to see a doctor, but
I'm at a restaurant. We make the dining rooms. We make the dining rooms feel like you're at a restaurant. So I mean, I've done movie rooms that the people will feel like they're in a real theater, even though they haven't been out of their facility in years. So they feel like they're watching a real movie on a real screen and real movie chairs. The whole red, black, dark. They actually feel they're in that space, even though they haven't gone the outdoors in ages. I've done also the dining rooms. I mean, literally, we've done like 1950s diners. We've done things look like upscale dining rooms, fancy stuff. And each room has like a different feel. So like, even though they're locked in this nursing home, we got so many different feels in so many different rooms. They actually can feel that they're not in the same space throughout the day. And they're just moving a couple feet to the left, a couple feet to the right. And it's a whole different aura.
Well, you're bringing them like the outside world within the facility, so they can feel that they're not completely just left alone and left behind. Right. I mean, they're living the life, but within, a smaller world, which is, again, you're still.
It's visual tricks.
Exactly. But it works.
It's visual tricks.
It's all about the mind, right? It's all about the mind, and you're making that happen. But now the question that someone listening right now is like, well, I'm assuming those are the private hospitals or private places. You see?
No, they're all coming on board. No, they're all coming on board because they're losing money. They're going, people are going to, they feel bad. They want their parent who just broke their hip. They want their parent to be in a beautiful, relaxing, soothing place. So the ones they're losing money, they see that everyone's going to the newer places. So that kind of kickstarts them like, hey, we need to get up to the times. So everybody, it's like a ripple effect. Slowly, everybody's renovating. Everybody's coming up to the times, and they need to if They want to make the money.
There you go. Right. Good for
Yeah.
business, plenty of business. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. I mean, healthcare is always going to be there. And I mean, there's a whole
Yeah,
debate
as the
about how.
population ages, population is getting older, people living longer.
Yes.
So there's a incredible need for it.
Well, it's a huge industry itself. I mean, home care is big, you know, and these facilities are just becoming more like, to your point, hotel-like, you know, so it's just amazing. But again, what people don't realize is there are people behind the scenes making it happen. You're one of them. You know, there's the architects that design the facilities, but really even the architects, they'll give you the shell and everything, but really you guys are the final touch and the smooth touch where it gives that visual effect.
Yeah, I even got the popcorn machines in there. I even got the popcorn machines in my theaters.
But you give them a real feel of things. Yeah. I mean, they might not even be able to eat popcorn, but at least they get that experience. You know, I mean, the smell of it's got to be brutal. You know, it's like you walk to the theater like popcorn first day, right?
Yeah, I've done ice cream parlors. I've done the works to make them, you know, to make the life still exciting. You know.
But, you know, hearing you talking about it and how excited about it also is fuzzy enough that people can get the vibe of what it means. And again, you're doing it with passion. You're doing it from the heart. And so you can, that's the other thing, like an artist, if you do it from your own, from within, you're going to give the best, you know, artistry, the best, you know, imagery, whatever it is that you're doing, as opposed to someone who's just doing it again for the paycheck. They're not going to get, you know, the right. And I love what you said with your students, you know. Is this you or not? Because to your point, if they're not going to have it, they're not going to give the creativity enough to deliver this experience that you are talking about right now, and therefore the clients are not going to be very happy eventually, and therefore
because there's no school for creativity. There's no such thing.
It's happening or not. I mean, you can learn the tricks about it, but you're right.
Yeah,
it's within you. That's something that is already in or built in. Well, listen, you know, we've exceeded the hour, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. Yeah.
Listen, you signed up for this. But I didn't know what I signed up for, but I knew from our own connection that your stuff was going to be great for our audiences. And to be honest with you, keep up the great work doing, because this is important work. What you're doing in the real business world, your success story is just a story that everybody can actually learn from. There's so much stuff that we can take today and apply, and I know we're going to hopefully contribute to somebody's success, and that's actually a good feeling, just to know that even if one person takes this message and applies some of it and eventually sees the fruits of this coming, you know, eventually in time, that's with that we don't need to know, but the fact that we know that someone eventually is going to get there is satisfactory for me, at least. And I know you're happy about that, because that's the mission that you have. And it's amazing. And this is part of giving. And so thank you. So we're coming to the end. What would you leave our audiences with as an advice?
Oh, there were so many.
All right, you got a minute. Go for it. Oh, you got a couple. It doesn't matter. Give advice. It's all good.
No, I guess it's Journey's famous words. Don't stop believing. Yes, that's it. That's it.
I see. I give you a minute. You give me. Listen, we've given a lot, and thank you so much. I mean, this was so much fun, and I learned. I mean, again, this is, even for me, this keeps me pumped. I mean, this gives me the motivation to continue doing the work I do, but also it keeps me motivated to just keep believing and doing my own. So it is medicine for me, as it is for the people that are watching and listening right now. And again, listen, we're going to continue doing this work, you and I, and many people that come on. There's plenty of us out there that are doing this. And so everyone out there that's doing the work, keep doing it. You know, we're hopefully changing the 1% at a time, and maybe many at a time. But the idea is that we want to just give this messaging to more and more people, and they'll probably in exchange also share the same information with others. And to your point, trickle effect, whatever, ripple effect, you know, it's going to get to more and more people, and that's all there is. And there's a beauty to that. So I'm happy, you're happy, and we're good. Everybody's happy. We're happy family. All right. Well, now, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been real.
Sure. Right. Yes, it has. Thank you.
You're welcome, folks. Thank you for being with us. Hope you enjoyed this show today. And so I'm your host, Hurricane H. We'll be talking soon. New day, new show, new topic, new guest. Bye for now.